I really appreciate everybody's time and letting me speak today. I do have a little speech that I want to say, and I'm not going to repeat it on every bill, but I'm just an opponent on every one of these bills. But real quick, I'd just like to remind everybody here that 74% of the population voted this program in, and some of the debilitating diseases are chronic and debilitating diseases: AIDS, immune system disorders, sclerosis, cancers, Crohn's, epilepsies, and PTSDs. So in this country, we have one of the most restrictive medical marijuana programs, and the state motto is that under God, the people of South Dakota rule, and the fact is that we did vote this program in by 74%. The governor claims that she wants to have the most comprehensive in the program, but it is one of the most restrictive, in fact. I encourage you to look at the two people who were proponents of this bill and realize that their words were nothing more than fear-mongering in the fact that we do not allow the sale of medical marijuana to children. We don't even allow smokable marijuana to people under 21. It is very restrictive. We want, especially as patients and people of South Dakota, I do not want cannabis falling in the hands of children. Not only is that been proven through legalization to be a better situation, that less kids are even having access to cannabis in legal states, or less kids are using it in legal states. The other one is directly impacting myself as a disabled veteran, somebody who served this country in the military. I served in the United States Marine Corps. I get my health care through the VA. My doctor in the VA will not prescribe me medical marijuana, even though she is she is willing to give it to me, but she said she can't. She's bound by the federal law. And it's very upsetting to when I personally went to one of these clinics and I have the paperwork and I provided that paperwork to a doctor, but yet we have this person fear-mongering, saying that people are getting it just for whatever, and they're going to abuse it for recreational. And I would take that back to the other person, the fact that we also voted in recreational, and a corrupt government overturned that against our will. So Quinn, I'll go forward with what I was saying here. This is 2 years later in the program. It's being systematically attacked and dismantled. One thing that's very upsetting to me is the fact that there's no bills that are adding protections for the patients, such as more restrictive against pesticides, when the pesticides can be sprayed, making sure that not Delta 8 or hemp flower is being sold illegally to the patients. There's nothing being added to the list as far as more conditions to be illegally protected for patients. Quickly, that person was saying that we've now had 13,000 patients, and I Googled while we were here. There's more. 452 people out of every 100,000 South Dakota have cancer. We have 900,000 people in South Dakota. Very quick math will tell you that's 4,068 cancer patients alone, not considering anybody with epilepsy or any other qualifying condition. And some of these bills that are going forward here is you guys want to add us to the prescription drug monitoring program, and you want to act like
Charles, yes, let's just speak about the bill that's in front of us today, okay?
I will try to wrap this up, but like I said, I don't want to repeat it, and I don't have time to speak on every single bill, so if you could take my words into consideration, I really appreciate it. But Hitler went to the registry to find the gun owners. This government is sounding more totalitarian every day. And people in charge are eroding our democracy. As South Dakota taxpayers, we have no trust in the voting system of the people representing us. So lastly, on the same day these bills were proposed, the federal government released documents to the DEA that the cannabis, with 33,000 doctors approving medical marijuana. They want it reclassified to Schedule 3. Even though everyone knows it should be legalized. And lastly, I will say that as a former Marine and somebody who served this country, the Second Amendment will not be infringed. Period. And I appreciate your time.
Charles, would you tell us where you're from just so we can enter that into the journal?
Yeah, I'm in Rapid City.